What's up, everyone? So, as you guys know, my channel got hacked and deleted 3 days ago. But before I explain all of that, I just want to explain that Morgan Freeman is the base character of Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa. I just want to say this real quick because I know people are going to comment about this. My main focus in this video is going to be about Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa. But Morgan Freeman is the base character because he's the oldest one. And I'm sure there's like an older one, but based on my research, I wasn't able to find anybody, but I'm sure it's out there. But yeah, I just wanted to explain this because I know a lot of people are gonna comment about it. So if you guys want to see my breakdown with Morgan Freeman, watch this whole video because towards the end I'll break that down, because he is Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa. But anyways, so as you guys know, 3 days ago my channel got hacked. There's no real explanation as to why they targeted me specifically, but they did target a lot of other channels. Right now, a lot of CEOs are hiring hackers to hack random channels, right? And the crazy thing about this is I had two-step verification. I have a really good password, and I have a recovery email and a recovery phone number. So I have every single thing that I can have to secure my channel and my account, and they were still able to hack it. So these are some extreme professional hackers, and I don't know how they're getting through YouTube's system, but they are right now. So hopefully YouTube can fix that and not let them do that, because that was very fucked up what they did. They hacked my channel and they basically changed the picture of my channel. Like they changed my profile picture, then they changed my banner, and then they changed my name to the name of the CEO. And if you guys saw it, you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, they changed everything on my channel. Luckily they didn't delete my videos, so I'm thankful for that. Even though I do have them backed up just in case that ever happens. But yeah, they didn't delete my videos, so everything is still up here. But I do have a second channel called Conscious X2. So make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel, because when my channel was deleted, I made a video explaining that I was hacked. So make sure you guys are subbed to this channel. The link will be in the description below. And make sure you guys are following me on Instagram at Zanchez17, because if anything ever happens, I notified you guys right away right here. And since a lot of you guys don't get my notifications, following me on here and turning these notifications on will get you notified with my videos, because I always post it on here every time I drop a video. And then last thing, make sure you guys are subbed to my third channel, Zanchez17. If you type in Zanchez17, this channel and my second channel will pop up. So make sure you guys are just subbed to all my backup stuff and my Instagram, because when things like this happen, I can't just notify everybody. I have to let you guys know on my backup stuff. So yeah, that's where I was letting you guys know what happened. And also go follow my Twitter. It's the same as my Instagram. All my links are in the description below. But yeah, man, that was very fucked up what they did. They hacked my whole channel and they did a live stream. And, those type of live streams aren't allowed on YouTube. So YouTube ended up terminating my channel when they found out. And it sucks because, YouTube doesn't know who did that. So I went on Twitter and I tweeted the support team on YouTube. I think their Twitter is Team YouTube. And within a couple hours, they responded to me, and then they DM'd me. And they helped me get my Google account back. I told them that my account was hacked. And then they sent me like this application so that I can prove that I'm the owner of the account. And then once I was able to prove it, a couple hours later, they gave me my channel back. So shout out to Team YouTube and the support team on YouTube, because they were really on top of this. I got my channel back within like 2 days. It was like a day and a half. So shout out to Team YouTube. They really helped me out with that. I'm really thankful that they were able to get it back so fast, because I really wanted to get back on here and keep dropping videos, and I was really down because I was like, wow, I spent 3 years working on this channel just for somebody to randomly hack me one day and then get my channel deleted. So it sucks, but the good thing is that now I'm back. Now that YouTube helped me with this, my account is secured so that this won't ever happen again. But you never know in these scenarios. These hackers are really good. So if this ever does happen again, make sure you guys are following my backup accounts. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that because it feels so good to finally be back. And I'm going to be dropping so many videos back to back. And one thing I do want to say is YouTube is actually a really good platform. A lot of times we hate on YouTube and things like that. But the fact that they were able to help me so fast, that goes to show that they're a really good company. And, shout out to the workers, the support people and everything. They really helped me out. And they actually responded pretty fast. So if this ever happens to you guys, just tweet Team YouTube on Twitter and they'll respond to you. But anyways, back to the video. So my bad for the long rant. I just really wanted to explain to you guys what happened because it really sucked. But at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. And now I'm just really grateful for everything. I really appreciate everybody that supports my channel. And shout out to everybody who ran to my second channel and my Instagram and was just showing so much support. And, the people that donated as well. I really appreciate you guys. But anyways, now let's get into the video. So, as you guys can tell, this is clearly Wiz Khalifa. This is a picture of Jimi Hendrix, but he looks just like Wiz Khalifa, especially in this album cover right here. So, when Wiz Khalifa dropped this album cover for ONIFC, he got a lot of backlash, apparently, of people saying that he looks like Jimi Hendrix. So, here's an article explaining what happened, and they interviewed Wiz Khalifa. And it says, fan response was decidedly negative when Wiz Khalifa released the cover art to his upcoming sophomore studio album, ONIFC, earlier this month. Now in a recent interview, the Pittsburgh MC responds to the criticism. He added, Jimi Hendrix is definitely an influence, but it's not just that. Jimi Hendrix is a great person. I love Jimi, but like that whole era of music, they all look like that. When you look back at that time, the Vietnam days, that's what people look like at that time. Me having an afro and me wearing a bandana around my head. People think now I look like Jimi Hendrix. It doesn't mean I'm trying to be Jimi. Yeah, I love Jimi, but that's not really exactly who I'm trying to be. I embody that mind frame and spirit of what was going on at that time. So notice that the way he worded all of this stuff is very telling because why is he even responding to people saying he looks like Jimi? And he's trying to make it clear that he's not trying to be Jimi. So it's a lot of mockery with this character. Make sure you guys watch this whole video because there is so much mockery. And there's just so much evidence that Wiz Khalifa is Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman. So the main thing I wanted to show you guys with this was the fact that Wiz Khalifa himself tweeted, Jimi Hendrix is alive in 2015. So that alone should already let you know that there's something weird going on here. He didn't give any context, but he's basically admitting that he is Jimi Hendrix. And then here's a picture of Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa. As you guys can see, they look exactly alike. Very obvious one right here. It's very obvious. Like, I really don't have to say anything. These pictures speak for themselves. This is clearly Wiz Khalifa. He's like the modern version of Jimi Hendrix. Because that's all they do, Because if you guys notice, I've been exposing a lot of old celebrities for being the base characters of these new celebrities. Because what they're doing is they're recycling this old character and bringing him back as a modern version, right? So Wiz Khalifa is just a modern version of Jimi Hendrix. And right here they have the same side profile and the same exact jawline too. And then this person said, watching this video in history class and I realized Wiz Khalifa looked just like Jimi Hendrix. And now a big connection here is Jimi Hendrix died on September 18 and Wiz Khalifa was born on September 8. So the fact that his death is only 10 days after Wiz Khalifa's birthday is crazy. There's a big connection right there. And then some more mockery is the fact that Wiz Khalifa was smoking on the carpet for Jimi Hendrix premiere. He went to the Jimi Hendrix premiere and he was smoking. And then another connection is that Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa both performed at the Union College. So they both performed at the same place. And then some more mockery is the fact that Wiz Khalifa has a song called Like Jimmy, where he's basically saying he is Jimi Hendrix, and he's comparing himself to Jimi Hendrix.
If I die today, remember me like Jimi Hendrix.
He said, if I die today, remember me like Jimi Hendrix. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wiz ends up faking his death. But the fact that he keeps comparing himself to Jimi Hendrix. And then here's an interview of Wiz Khalifa, and he said that Jimi Hendrix is taking over his body. And hopefully they don't copyright me for this. But if they do, you know, you guys can go watch it for yourself. And I'll also show a video of Wiz Khalifa's friend, you know, basically talking about what he said right here. And also just something to point out, he's wearing pink and blue, which we all know is the inverted colors. But anyways, here's the interview.
There's another song you got called Like Jimmy that you perform.
Yeah.
And then when I first heard the title, I was like, Jimmy, let me see, Jimmy. What is Jimmy? Jimi Hendrix?
Right.
And I didn't know you was a Hendrix fan.
Yeah, I love Jimmy. He possessed my body about a year or two ago.
Uh-huh.
That's the whole reason for like O and IFC. He just took over. His soul just took over my body.
What was it about his legacy that appealed to you? What about him as an artist and as a person?
He's an innovator.
Yeah.
And he did a lot before he even was who people know who he was. Like,
Yeah.
he played background for the Isley Brothers.
Mhm.
And he did a lot of things just to earn his keep. And then when it was finally his time, he just broke out as this huge star and this amazing person.
Yeah.
I
You know
look up
what?
to that.
Let's run that.
So notice how he said that Jimi Hendrix's soul took over his body. And hopefully they didn't copyright that clip, but that's basically what he said. And then here's another interview of his homie Chevy Woods, basically repeating what he just said right here.
Age and in life and with the fans, he's a rock star, you know what I mean? And everybody's seen him do, you know, the things that I'm doing now, like the rapping things, and that's it, you know what I mean? Until, you know, I think when he said in an interview that, you know, like a year ago, Jimi Hendrix took over his body. So when he said that, and now that I look at everything that he's doing on stage and with his music,
He gets a big scarf like
that's what it is.
Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, the
Yeah.
whole thing, the whole presentation.
So he's really living, you know
Yeah.
what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? He's really living out that Jimi Hendrix and his soul type of vibe, and
Yeah.
you know it's good because you know he's about peace and having fun with the fans and you
Yeah.
know partying,
Yeah.
and that's exactly you know what Jimmy was into too.
He achieved a level of fame that very few people get to, a huge level of celebrity, and you know it came relatively fast.
So even his homie is saying that he's like Jimi Hendrix.
I was just playing off the whole Jimi Hendrix
Hendrix
aspect.
thing, yeah.
And then, for real, I didn't want to be disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, to
Yeah.
my wife. And Jimmy probably was having those girls, but that's not my life. So I figured I'd have some fun with it, you know what I mean?
And then some more mockery is that he did another interview, and he explains that Jimi Hendrix is one of his fashion inspirations.
Style icons are Pharrell, Bob Marley, Jimi Hendrix, just because
So he keeps referencing Jimi Hendrix so much, and he looks just like him. And then here's another interview where he talks about him.
That's big because he's like an idol for you, right?
that is my biggest, like, you know, there's nobody
Right.
other than Snoop to me. There's Jimi Hendrix and there's Snoop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you did your
So-
thing with the Hendrix too, bro.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
luck.
good
I
looking.
mean, you know, I'm still trying to tap into that whole Jimmy thing. So we'll
Well,
see.
we like what you do.
So notice that he keeps saying he's trying to tap into Jimi Hendrix, you know, because he is Jimi Hendrix. And once again, this tweet is all you need to know. I mean, all you need to see to know that he is Jimi Hendrix. And then he made another tweet where he talked about Jimi Hendrix as well. He said, I liked Fergie's national anthem. It was original and fun, just like her. People didn't like Jimi Hendrix's version of the anthem at the time. He did it, but later it became legendary. And I guess a lot of people got mad that he compared them. But anyways, you know, the fact that he keeps tweeting about Jimi Hendrix and talking about him in his interviews, and he looks just like him, you know, it's so obvious that he is Jimi Hendrix. And then here's some more tweets, and somebody said, why does Jimi Hendrix look like Wiz Khalifa? And then this guy said, low-key, Jimi Hendrix is Wiz Khalifa. they should make a Jimi Hendrix autobiography and Wiz Khalifa should play him. So they did end up making a Jimi Hendrix biopic, and it wasn't Wiz Khalifa that played him, obviously, because like I always say, you know, they don't actually get their other character to play them. They get another random person to try to throw us off. And I'll explain that in a bit, because they used Andre 3000 to play Jimi Hendrix. And then here's another tweet, and this is from a verified person, by the way. And they said, it's so eerie how Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa look alike. And if you notice, he also looks like Morgan Freeman right here. But I'll get to Morgan Freeman towards the end of the video. And then this person said, is it just me or does Wiz Khalifa look a little like Jimi Hendrix? I truly believe Jimi Hendrix came back from the dead and became Wiz Khalifa. You know, Jimmy didn't actually die, but, you know, they're basically saying that he is Wiz Khalifa. I can't look at Wiz Khalifa without seeing Jimi Hendrix. And then another verified person said, maybe it's me, but Wiz Khalifa looked just like Jimi Hendrix. And then here's some more comparisons. And something I do want to point out is the fact that Wiz Khalifa and Jimi Hendrix both promoted weed a lot, you know, and, you know, also Snoop Dogg did with this movie. You know, this movie was very, very big during this time. You know, this was 2012, so I was in middle school during this time, and this movie, you know, from me being in Cali, this movie made a huge impact in Cali. I don't know how big it was, you know, everywhere else, but in Cali, this really made a lot of people smoke weed, right? You know, middle schoolers were smoking weed, high schoolers, even people in elementary school. So a lot of kids were doing this because of Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg, right? So this is something I want to talk about because it's not right that they're promoting this to kids, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because, you know, if you really do your research on weed, it's actually a lot of harmful stuff that can come from it. So, for example, here's some facts that you guys can look this up. You know, if you guys keep smoking weed every single day, you know, for years, eventually it's going to be hard for you to have kids. You know, it does have an effect on your body and, you know, in particular, that part of your body. But right here it says, there is a body of evidence today that supports this finding and studies now that suggest that the impact is multifactorial. The use of weed can lead to a reduced kid count. You know, I'm going to just call this S-word kid because I don't want to get, you know, flagged or whatever. But then it says reduced kid concentration, changes in kid motility and morphology, hormone changes, which is really bad, reduction in libido and freaky performance. You know, I can't say that word, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Reduced kid viability. So it has a big impact on your kids and even your ability to have kids. You know, there's a lot of people that can't have kids. And then right here it says, for many years, studies have shown that kids have cannabinoid receptors on them, which suggests that weed has the ability to disrupt kid function. Additionally, studies have shown a high correlation of men using weed who have reduced kid counts and concentration. In fact, men who use weed more than once a week have nearly a 30% reduction in kid count and kid concentration. And this has been shown to last 5 to 6 weeks even after they stop using it. So that's a lot, you know, 30% reduction. You know, that's why it gets harder for them to have kids if you keep, you know, doing that all the time. And then, you know, that's one thing. But this right here is very, very disturbing, and it would suck to have this. So it says, lastly, there is strong evidence that E dysfunction, known as ED, you know, I can't say this word, but if you guys know what that means, you know what I'm talking about. That basically means that you can't get hard. And there's a lot of people that go through this and nobody really talks about it, you know. Nobody really talks about this, but it's a serious thing and it would suck to have this. So I'm just letting you guys know the dangers of this stuff, you know. I'm not saying, you know, you should or shouldn't smoke weed, you know. I'm not saying anything, you know. You should do whatever makes you happy. You know, I have a video about that. You know, do whatever you want to do, but it is good to know this information so that you don't do it too much, because too much of anything can be bad. So it's just good to know about it. And also, this is just something I wanted to talk about because there's a lot of celebrities like Wiz that promote weed to kids so much. And keep in mind that a kid on weed has a higher chance of going through this stuff than an adult. But there's a lot of adults that go through this as well. So anyways, continuing on, it says ED is also a side effect for men who use weed. Research today actually shows that it has a negative impact on freaky performance. You know, a lot of guys that do a lot of weed are not good in bed. So if you want to get girls, you should stop smoking weed. You know, I'm just putting that out there. Or at least don't do it too much, because you don't want to go through this type of stuff. You know, there's a lot of people that can't get hard because of this. But anyways, it says, in fact, in one study, 78% of men who reportedly experienced ED were frequent weed users versus only 3% who did not. It is believed that weed induces ED by causing damage to the endothelial cells, those cells that live on the interior surface of the blood vessels and help to maintain an E. So, you know, make sure you guys go do your own research on this. Once again, I'm not telling you guys what you should or shouldn't do, but I just wanted to point this out because it's not right that Wiz Khalifa is promoting this to kids, you know, and even men too. And it goes to show that these celebrities have a huge influence on us, and they can make a lot of people go through this type of stuff. But anyways, some damage control I want to talk about. You know, like I explained earlier, Andre 3000 played Jimi Hendrix in the movie, right? And Andre 3000 is not Jimi Hendrix. You know, you can clearly see by these pictures they look nothing alike. So I just wanted to make that clear, because whenever somebody plays somebody else in a movie, they are never that person, you know what I mean? So for example, they'll never get Wiz Khalifa to play Jimi Hendrix or Morgan Freeman in a movie, because he is them. And also, last thing I want to say about weed is if you do smoke weed, you know, do everything in moderation, because like I said, too much weed can cause these things, and it sucks for any man to go through that, and a lot of people don't know about that. So I just wanted to bring awareness to that. But anyways, Morgan Freeman is the base character of Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa. You know, I'm sure a lot of you guys know about this by now, and I'm still confused as to who this is right here. You know, I'm pretty sure this is Jimi Hendrix, but he looks exactly like Morgan Freeman right here. You know, it's undeniable. And then here's some more comparisons right here, so you guys can look at this. Even their younger pictures match up pretty perfectly. You know, they got the same side profile right there. And then right here you can see they got the same ears, and they have the same teeth as well. Here's a better shot of their teeth. You know, Morgan Freeman's are a bit more messed up because he's supposedly older, but you guys can still see the formation is exactly the same. And then here we got Jimi Hendrix. You know, he looks a lot like Wiz Khalifa right here. And by the way, Tyler James Williams is another character as well. I forgot to add him in here, but he looks exactly like Wiz Khalifa, so he is another Morgan Freeman character. And then here's a younger picture of Morgan Freeman that he posted, and he looks just like Wiz Khalifa. And then here we got Jimi Hendrix. He looks just like Wiz Khalifa. And then Morgan Freeman dressed up as Dracula one time. And here's another example of them hinting at the fact that they're not regular humans. You know, these entities are other type of creatures, and for all I know, he could be a vampire. You know, that's why he's hinting at this right here. And he looks just like Wiz Khalifa right there. You know, they have the same exact eyes if you really look at it. He's just a younger Morgan Freeman. And then I think this is Jimi Hendrix. He looks just like Morgan Freeman. And then here we got Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman. Even their wives look very similar. Alright, now let's get into the gematria. So, Morgan Freeman and James Hendrix, which is Jimi Hendrix's real name, they have the same exact numbers in gematria. So, Morgan Freeman and James Hendrix both equal 130, 67, 182, 258, 68, and 104, all in the same ciphers. And then they both equal 35 right there too. And then there's a lot of 33s with this because Morgan Freeman was 33 years and 3 months old when Jimi Hendrix faked his death. And Jimi Hendrix faked his death at the age of 333 months and 3 weeks old. So to not confuse anybody, let me try to break this down in simple terms. So Jimi Hendrix was 333 months and 3 weeks old when he died. And on that same day, Morgan Freeman was exactly 33 years old and 3 months. So that's a lot of threes, and that's a major connection right there. And then some more 33s. So Wiz Khalifa's real name is Cameron, and it equals 33 in the same cipher as Masonry. And then they both equal 39 in the same cipher as well. And then Morgan and Jimmy equal 31 in the same cipher. And then Morgan equals 32 in the full reduction. And Jimmy equals 23 in the full reduction. So if you flip the 23, you get 32. And then some more mockery is the fact that Wiz Khalifa tweeted, "Woke up sleazy Morgan Freeman." So first he said Jimi Hendrix is alive, and now he's referencing Morgan Freeman. So Wiz Khalifa put it in our face so much. And there's so many memes about this too. This person said, "I have a theory that a young Morgan Freeman would look like a younger Wiz Khalifa." And another thing to point out is the fact that a lot of people, talk about how Morgan Freeman doesn't age. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys for a long time, that these celebrities don't age. They have to they have to fake that their character is aging. It's not a natural age process. It's like a synthetic aging. And as you guys can see right here, it's obvious too that the actual entity is not aging. It's just a character that they're trying to force to look older, right? And obviously they did a bad job with Morgan Freeman because he always looks the same. So this is him in 2000 and 2017. He looks exactly the same. And then this guy said, "Morgan Freeman has been old his entire life. Morgan Freeman has been old my entire life." And then here we got Jimi Hendrix. And then here's a young picture of Morgan Freeman. And this reminds me of the A$AP Rocky picture and the Denzel Washington picture, when they were younger. Make sure you guys go watch that video, by the way, because that was a really good breakdown. But this really reminds me of their younger pictures because you can clearly see that this is fake. This looks like a grown man face on a kid. This is clearly fake. And then he looks a lot like Wiz Khalifa and Jimi Hendrix right here. And then this person said, "Young Morgan Freeman looks like Wiz Khalifa." And the crazy thing about this is, if you search up young Morgan Freeman, a picture of Wiz Khalifa pops up. So as you guys can see, you type in young Morgan Freeman and Wiz Khalifa's right there. So this goes to show that everybody already knows that he is Wiz Khalifa. Morgan Freeman is Jimi Hendrix and Wiz Khalifa. And then this tweet says, "Why young Morgan Freeman look like Wiz Khalifa?" And that's a really good side to side. "This ain't young Morgan Freeman, it's an old Wiz Khalifa, nice try." Morgan Freeman in the 70s looks a lot like Wiz Khalifa. And then here's the side to side of Jimi Hendrix and Morgan Freeman. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to drop a like, share, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Now I'm just going to show you guys a video of Wiz Khalifa and his fake beard. And then he ends up looking like Jimi Hendrix a lot. So I'm going to show you guys that video, and then I'm going to show you guys a video of Morgan Freeman and Jimi Hendrix so you guys can see the resemblance a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm out.
Oh, that's too tight.
Okay. How's that?
That's better.
Better?
So again, I heard about this one a while ago, as I'm sure many of you had, and pretty interesting because matches up pretty well, I'd say. And again, with the timelines, I'm always suspicious of someone who's in the 27 club, because that whole thing is just fake and set up to make legends, legend making. So again, with the timelines, I think they match up pretty well with Jimi Hendrix's alleged death and Morgan Freeman's acting career starting. Also, I think I'm right in saying that Jimi Hendrix wasn't actually that famous in America, even though he was American. I think he was actually more famous in the UK at the time when he was alive. It wasn't till he died, once they made him a legend, that he started obviously getting big in America as well. So it would have been quite easy for them to switch him from a musician into an actor, and that's what they've done here with Morgan Freeman, I believe. But again, I'm just presenting the information. It's up for you. Okay.
Brothers and sisters and misses and misters, here's your daddy-o with the sounds to go. No shucking, no jive, and I'm telling you, your music's arriving. Ha ha, what I say. It's Mel Mounds here with our special request game called The Same as Your Name. That's right, one of you lucky listeners out there will get a chance to pick the next song. And the name of that song will have a sound that sounds the same as your name. I'll show you just how it works, but first, let's pick the picker. I'll spin now a pick of the pack picker, which contains the names of all you fans out there who sent in postcards. And we'll just pick out the name of today's lucky winner, and it is Brenda Bradley. That means today we're going to be working with the BR sound. That's br, as found in Brenda Bradley. Okay, now let's call Brenda up on the phone, and here's her number. Okay, Brenda, here's a ding-a-ling to do your thing.
Hello!
Brenda Bradley, your name was just picked by our lucky picker. Congratulations, Brenda.
This ain't Brenda Bradley. You got the wrong number.
Okay, Brenda, we're going to show you the names of 3 songs that have the same sound that's found in your name. That's Brenda Bradley. B-R. Brenda Bradley. And we'll get you 3 song titles with B-R in them, and then you pick the one you want to hear. Okay, Brenda?
Now listen.
Okay, here's the first one now. It is Breakfast in Brazil.
Breakfast in Brazil, it's so terrific. Breakfast in Brazil. Hey, I like that song.
Wonderful, Brenda. And maybe when your cold gets better, you can sing the whole thing for us.